Welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com.
In today's news, Police Sergeant Richard Francis charged for assault occasioning actual bodily harm and now becomes the second officer from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force to be charged within 2 weeks.
The BVI Tourist Board aggressively promotes to travel professional at Global Consortia Event.
And at least 100 incidents of persistent positive COVID-19 cases recorded in the BVI, in addition to several cases of long COVID.
The National Parks Trust of the Virgin Islands and the HLSCC Community College host an education and training exercise.
An AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited awarded nearly $1.8 million for rehabilitation works to Long Trench Roadway. This and so much more when 284 News returns.
You value traditions. Today. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Thursday, August 12th, 2021. A terrific Thursday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
And I'm Kamal Haynes, and happy Thursday to one and all. Thank you for joining us. Well, we start with news coming out of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, where the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force would have charged one of their fellow officers, Sergeant Richard Francis, for assault occasioning actual bodily harm. But this was revealed in a media release from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force on Thursday, which stated that the charges are from an incident which occurred earlier this year in February that resulted in Francis being interdicted while investigations commenced, where the release said, and I quote, "Charges laid against Officer Richard Francis stem from a domestic incident reported in February of this year. Investigations into allegations made resulted in subsequent charges," end quote. But meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Mark Collins assured residents that all accusations against officers by members of the public will be thoroughly investigated, and if there is evidence of an offense committed, officers will be suspended and possibly charged. In communications with the force, Collins reiterated the need for his officers to align their personal and public lives with the force's professional standards. He noted his first stance from officers' behaviors must be beyond reproach, whether on or off duty, where Francis is now the second police officer to be charged in just under 2 weeks, where the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force formally charged Sergeant Troy St. Helen for his alleged involvement in January's major cocaine drug bust of approximately 200 kilos. While he was charged on July 29th for possession of a controlled drug with intent to supply and being concerned in the supply of a controlled drug. Well, Commissioner Collins recently revealed in an ongoing commission of inquiry that a total of 9 police officers were interdicted pending investigations and possible charges, where he said he intends to rid the force of all corrupt and unfit police officers. Ron, this is some very concerning news. You know, we carried the story a couple of weeks ago.
Of course.
As it pertains to the first sergeant. Now we see another sergeant being involved in or being charged, you know, for alleged crime, because obviously you're innocent until proven guilty. But this is very concerning, considering that these are senior ranked officers in the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force.
Kamal, this has been a long awaited truth for a very long time, and I say that to say that in every law enforcement there are what we call dirty cops. This is across the region, internationally as well. One of the things that I want to point out is that the most recent police commissioner, Mark Collins, has made a pledge to the Virgin Islands to really stamp out corruption, and I don't think we can necessarily stamp it out wholeheartedly, but I do appreciate his effort. He is pushing for respect, accountability, trust, and at the end of the day, when we look at our community, such a small-knit community where persons have a lack of trust in the community, they don't want to come forward because of a fear of victimization. I think the cases that we're seeing within the past few months and years really proves to the fact that there are a lot of underlying reasons why persons in the community would not want to call the police, would not want to come forward. So I want to take this opportunity to really applaud Commissioner Mark Collins and his efforts, and we do continue to wish him and the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force the very best. Continuing on, viewers, this week a team of the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission's staff are taking advantage of the very amazing opportunity to increase awareness of the destination BVI to one of the most important segments of the tourism industry, high net worth travel advisors. The team, being led of course by Deputy Director of Tourism Rodney Skelton, includes North American and United Kingdom business development teams, and they will be participating in one-on-one virtual meetings with top travel advisors during the highly anticipated Virtual Travel Week. Now, this annual event, viewers, orchestrated by one of the world's leading luxury travel consortium, Versio, will take place virtually from August 8th to the 13th under the theme Imagine What Can Be. Versio, known in the industry as Consortia, is one of the world's leading travel industry luxury networks with the top producing travel agencies and of course members from over some 40 countries covering 6 continents. Now, the consortia, viewers, is made up of stringently vetted travel advisors who specialize in helping to create curated travel interiors experiences for their various clientele, as well as targeted travel partners, hotels, cruise lines, tour operators, destinations, and so forth. Versio partners and advisors are renowned for their world-class customer service and uniquely curated experiences. Now, exclusive to the Versio network, the event featured personal networking appointments, extensive personal development opportunities, community globalization, and a celebration of Versio, the world's top luxury travel network. This year, Versio Travel Week will be a hybrid event providing members with the choice of 2 experiences, of course, in person and virtual. This allows flexibility for any Versio member to join in. In addition to the Deputy Director of Tourism, Mr. Rodney Skelton, the team participating in this year's virtual event includes North American Business Development Director Perla George, International Marketing Manager Odelcia Hanley, and Regional Business Development Manager Hazel Penn, that's covering the Midwest and Canada. Of course, Safrika O'Neill, she covers the Mid-Atlantic, and Shonda Munduru, Northwest. Tasha Vantapu, the West Coast. Shinokoa Matthew, and she's a liaison officer, as well as Mervina Jura, she is the UK Administrative Coordinator, and Kyle Harrigan, who's the UK Business Development Representative. Now, commenting, viewers, on this year's event, Deputy Director of the BVI Tourist Board, Mr. Rodney Skelton, said, and I quote, "We fully embrace the experience of networking with these high-value travel advisors to promote, of course, the safe and beautiful destination that is the BVI." Mr. Skelton added, Team BVI joins some 1,800 other participants as this ultimate annual global travel community event. Attendance at the Virtual Travel Week continues to be a critical part of the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board's overall marketing strategy to really strengthen and deepen the destination's relationship with partners in the international travel trade. It is an exhausting endeavor for the team, and having to really host hundreds of virtual meetings in a short space of time. But, he said, that will reap many rewards for Destination BVI. Now, viewers, the British Virgin Islands contingent will host over 300 meetings and appointments with travel advisors from the United States, Latin America, and Europe. The team aims to further enhance the image of the British Virgin Islands as a boutique luxury multi-vacation destination where guests can have multiple vacation experiences in one destination. Kamal, this is really an ongoing experience. This is an event that is held annually, but I'm really proud to see that the BVI Tourist Board, which is really their mandate and it's a part of their role to really market and sell the British Virgin Islands. More than ever, I think it's imperative that we really project and really share with the world why they need to come to our shores, even in these very difficult times.
Indeed, and it's very important to actually do it right now, in terms of COVID-19 affecting tourism in its entirety. Moving on, viewers, with the British Virgin Islands is experiencing a number of persistent positive COVID-19 cases, with some 100 recorded, as well as a number of instances of long COVID in some positive cases. But this is according to the national epidemiologist Harmony Bruley-Messiah, who made a statement during a recent COVID-19 panel discussion. What she said, these persistent positive cases continue to shed viral loads even after the 2-week quarantine period, and in some cases have had to quarantine for more than 1 month. Take a listen.
We have had a number of persistent positives, estimated so far at last count about 100 persons out of our cases, and these are persons who would continue to shed after the 14-day quarantine period. Now, some of these persons do still have symptoms, and obviously we would extend the quarantine period if they're still showing symptoms. All right, and we would continue to test them to see exactly if they're recovering or if they're, coming close to the threshold that we would deem as negative. So we're not, as you said, just willy-nilly, they're 14 days and release them out. No. We actually go back and we talk to the cases, we make sure that they are asymptomatic and they've been asymptomatic for a period of time before releasing them. If they have been asymptomatic and their threshold is in the region that we would deem as non-infectious, and this is by global standards, we would then release them. Okay, and these are people, for example, who have been in quarantine for over 14 days, sometimes all the way up to 35 days, and they're still showing positive. And that.
Well, the health professional said these unique situations can lead to high levels of stress for some individuals, impacting them psychologically.
And that doesn't just have legal and ethical implications, but it also has psychological implications on the person who has to remain in quarantine for this period of time. Right. All right, so we do have to take all of that into account when we make our decisions about whether or not to release these persons. And even after we release them, we do still cycle back to them to see whether or not they start to show any symptoms. Because if they do, it could mean a resurgence. It could mean that, it maybe went dormant and then flared back up, because we have seen reports. So we do monitor them, and if they do state that they have symptoms, we cycle back, we put them back into quarantine and have them assessed.
And I think another thing that we've seen.
Meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges made a disclosure that the territory has also been experiencing several cases of long COVID. Well, long COVID can be described as symptoms continuing for more than 12 weeks after an infection, whether it be severe or mild, which can't be explained by another cause.
And we have seen in the BVI here persons who have cleared, and then they still have these chronic symptoms. It might be a cough, it might be a little shortness of breath, chronic fatigue, headaches. I mean, there was an interesting one about shocking sensations in the eyes. There's people who've had like tinnitus or ringing in the ears, loss of hearing. So there's a wide range of symptomatology we have seen post-COVID in the BVI, and lasting for several months as well. So you may talk about.
Ms. Messiah also broke down the two categories of long COVID and spoke to the type that the BVI has been battling with.
Now, what we have seen is that from the reports coming up from CDC and some other countries, that 1 in 5 persons, regardless of their acute infection, may exhibit symptoms for 5 weeks or more, and 1 in 10 may have symptoms lasting 12 weeks or more. So long COVID is really an informal term, meaning symptoms that persist after COVID-19 recovery. And they've actually broken it down into 2. It is the ongoing symptomatic COVID, which is between 4 to 12 weeks after recovery, and then there is the post-COVID syndrome, which is 12 weeks and over. And they're seeing the whole gamut of symptoms, from the fatigue, the tightness in the chest,
cough,
the short of breath, the dry cough, the diarrhea, the vomiting. So it varies from person to person. But the most prevalent symptoms that they're seeing is definitely the fatigue,
Chronic fatigue, yeah.
the chronic fatigue, the dry cough, the shortness of breath, the tightness in the chest. All right, here in the BVI, what we've been seeing is actually the tightness in the chest and the dry cough. And to some extent the fatigue. We're still contacting cases and doing our follow-ups, so as more information comes to light. But so far in the cases we have followed up with, those are the three main symptoms that keep coming up all the time.
Right.
Well, according to the latest COVID-19 update, the BVI's active positive COVID-19 cases stands at 152 with 37 deaths reported.
Viewers, still ahead, AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited awarded nearly $1.8 million for rehabilitation works towards the Long Trench roadway, as well as the National Park Stress VI and of course HLSCC Style Community College to host an education and training exercise. We have all the details and so much more. You're watching 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, viewers, welcome back. Well, the Recovery and Development Agency recently awarded AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited a contract valuing nearly $1.8 million for road rehabilitation works and slope stabilization at Long Trench on Tortola. Well, the announcement was made during the contract signing ceremony on Tuesday by the Director of Procurement at the RDA, John Primo. Well, according to Primo, the procurement process followed the guidelines set out by the Caribbean Development Bank's procurement policies using the selection method of national competitive bidding. Well, he said 14 local contractors requested bid documents prior to the April 23rd submission deadline date. However, only 8 bids were received in total.
An invitation for bid was published on the BVI Government Information Service, CDB websites, as well as in the BVI Beacon newspaper. The bid submission deadline was 23rd April 2021. 14 contractors, local contractors, requested bid documents. However, 8 bids were received by the submission deadline, and following a preliminary and detailed examination of the bids, AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited was awarded the contract based on best value for money at a cost of $1,799,499.68. The Caribbean Development Bank granted the RDA the required approval for these works. The RDA would like to congratulate AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited for being awarded the contract for these works, and would like to thank all the other firms who participated in the procurement process.
Well, the RDA's Acting Chief Executive Officer Anthony McMaster detailed some of the works that will be expected under this contract. Well, he said the project is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2021.
And with this contract to AUTLAND, we intend to do general site clearance, demolition of existing sections of the concrete road, and after that has been completed, the installation of 125 meters of reinforced concrete walks, 2 retaining walls, one approximately 49 meters by 2.9 meters high, and the other 77 meters by 3.3 meters high. The works also include the installation of 225 meters of guardrail. This project is expected to take 4 months.
Meanwhile, Operations Manager of AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited, Don CRABBE-HERBERT, expressed gratitude for being awarded the contract, through which he spoke to the many benefits of working with the RDA and the CDB projects. And take a listen, viewers.
We are truly grateful to be a part of the restoration efforts in the Virgin Islands. We have been working on CDB projects from inception and have benefited from the capacity building efforts of RDA and their many trainings. We have been able to pass on this benefit to many subcontractors and the development of resilience building of our staff and other Virgin Islanders because of these efforts. We are grateful to have been selected for the execution of the Long Trench Road Rehabilitation Slope Stabilization Project. We are here to continue to develop quality work on budget and on time to showcase the abilities of Virgin Islanders in executing projects on all levels. We look forward to more opportunities to be extended to local contractors to give us the ability to acquire the necessary experience to qualify for works at all levels in the project management and the construction management arena, both locally and abroad. I must say thank you to the awesome team of AUTLAND Heavy Equipment Company Limited for toiling day and night to make these projects a success. I thank you.
Well, viewers, as previously stated, but this project is expected to be completed by December 2021.
And continuing on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands, the National Parks Trust of the Virgin Islands, in collaboration with the HLSCC Community College, completed an education and training exercise with the students from the HLSCC Community College and Connecticut College from July 2nd through the 16th, 2021. Now, as part of the education and training exercise, Director of the National Parks Trust, VI, Dr. Cassandra Wheatley O'Neill, taught students from 2 institutions on various environmental topics related to the Virgin Islands, including, of course, geology, weather and climate, beaches, mangroves, salt ponds, seagrass beds, and coral reefs. Armed with this knowledge, students from both institutions completed field exercises to really reinforce the concepts that were taught. Now, as part of the training exercises, students from Connecticut College dove the only marine park in the territory, the MS Rhone, to collect data that would assist the trust in updating their system plan. Now, in addition, students from both institutions assisted head of the Marine Studies at H. Laverty Stout Community College, Miss Suzanne Zilakou, which is H. Laverty Stout Community College Mangrove Nursery at Parquita Bay, and of course the expansion of the National Park Trust Virgin Islands Mangrove Nursery on Anegada, now to minimize any genetic differences between the different islands. Students from Connecticut College and interns from the H. Laverty Stout Community College Mangrove Nursery also had the opportunity to collaborate on work at the nursery at H. Laverty Stout Community College in Parquita Bay. Biology professor at Connecticut College, Dr. Maria Rosa, said, and I quote, "This collaboration provides a unique opportunity for my students to learn about the blue economy. They learned a lot about the ecology of the BVI and received a culturally relevant perspective on the island's economy and green economy. They had an amazing opportunity, and I'm looking forward really to the future collaborations." Head of Marine Studies at H. Laverty Stout Community College, Suzanne Ziluki, expressed her appreciation for both Connecticut College and, of course, the National Parks Trust, to whom this would not be possible, noting how excited she was that the college could be an active part of supporting the development of the growing relationships with international academic institutions, local students, and of course local agencies carrying out scientific work in the British Virgin Islands. Now, viewers, Dr. Wheatley O'Neill conveyed her appreciation on behalf of the board of the H. Lavely Stout Community College and Connecticut College for the collaboration efforts between the three institutions. She said, and I quote, "I look forward to a continued working relationship between H. Lavely Stout Community College, Connecticut College, and of course, the students from both institutions as we continue to build capacity within the marine sector here in the British Virgin Islands."
Well, viewers, up next, government addressing the needs and concerns of teachers through action and not just talk. And this is from Education Minister Dr. NATALIO Wheatley. This and more into it for news returns.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Welcome back, viewers. Well, the government of the Virgin Islands is diligently addressing the needs and concerns of educators in the territory through millions of dollars of investment in school infrastructural upgrades, as well as policy improvements. Well, this is according to the Minister for Education, Dr. NATALIO Wheatley, who made a statement during a recent address to the territory, where the former educator said that he is one of the biggest advocates for teachers in the territory and has proven this since taking office by pumping more than $6 million to improve working environment of teachers.
This past Monday, I met with the executive of the Teachers Union. I expressed clearly to them and to all teachers that I am their biggest supporter and advocate. The long-standing challenges in our education system must be addressed. For those who have wrongly asserted that this is just lip service, I point to consistent efforts to address teachers' concerns. In regard to working in better conditions, we expended around $4 million just after taking office on refurbishing the now L. Dorothy Turnbull building. We spent $250,000 on improving the Passear campus, $134,000 to repair the tent in Virgin Gorda, $1.7 million to redevelop Brigado Flats, and several hundreds of thousands in school repairs and mold mitigation. These are just some examples. We have also committed to many more millions for additional school buildings on the Elmer Stout High School campus to take our children out of the Passear campus.
Well, the Education Minister also said that he has made a request to Cabinet to have teachers among those public sector workers who may be receiving a salary increase.
Cabinet also agreed to a salary review in January of 2021. During this Cabinet meeting, I asked for special consideration to be given to teachers. Cabinet also decided in 2019 to pay outstanding increments for 2016 and 2017. The first of these payments has already been made, and the second was interrupted by the pandemic.
Well, Dr. Wheatley also gave an update on a number of the school projects across the territory that are nearing completion and others which are soon set to commence.
The designs for the Jasper Dyke Primary School and Eslyn Henley Richey Learning Center are completed. Next week, the ministry will hold a meeting in Jasper Dyke on these plans so we can seek approval from Town and Country Planning and commence the procurement process for construction. The conceptual designs for the new junior school for the Elmer Stout High School campus are complete, and the next phase of the process is the procurement of a contractor for the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural designs. The Isabella Morris Primary School has been deemed structurally unsound and will be demolished, and we will then begin the process for the construction of a junior school on the west. The construction of Brigado Flax Educational Center Senior Division has been completed, and a handover will be held soon.
What the minister said, the Recovery and Development Agency will be leading all the aforementioned projects. He also assured teachers that more improvements will be made as his government continues to lobby for better working conditions for all teachers. Our viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for our daily news update at 284media.com and like us on Twitter at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. Have a beautiful rest of the day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.